Oh, and if y'all been talking, I did not hear y'all. I had my computer muted. I don't think y'all was talking. All right, cool. So, all right, for recording purposes, today's going to be on laws of attractions, and how to manifest things into your life, right? And we all always hear the words like how to manifest things into our lives and things of that nature, but it's really how to attract things into our lives, right? And before we get started, I just want everybody to be aware the laws of attraction is just one law of the universal laws, right? There's more laws that you can get familiar with that'll help you in your journey here on planet Earth, right? So long story short, we're gonna start with, let's make it bolder. Do 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 do. Let's do like 36. 3D, right? Capitalizing.
Recording yes.
4D. Ooh, I like you, Bill. You're smarter than all. I like people like him. He said, let me mute it. Thank you, Moody. Let me mute myself. I love him, brother. All right. So 3D. So when I'm gonna talk about all of them, but I'm gonna begin it like this. When you rise up in however you look at it, your morning or your grand rising, however you desire to pronounce it, right? When you rise up, let me check the chat real quick. 3D. When you rise up in the morning, right? And you get out of bed, you're in 3D. What is 3D? 3D is like, it's got this water bottle, right? I can see it. On top of that, I can see it. I can see the top. I can touch the top. I can touch the bottom. I can touch the side, right? I can spin it. I can see it. It's matter, right? I can hold it. I can identify with it and things of that nature, right? That's your 3D, right? In the 3D, let me go to the chat. All right, I'm gonna just stay out the chat. In the 3D, and no disrespect, TV, you could go ahead and drop stuff like because people may be in the chat and like catching on to like what you're saying, but I'm thinking that you have a question. Um, so in the 3D, you're always gonna have, let's put let's go down. Let's make this smaller so it doesn't be so big. We put like 16. In the 3D, you're gonna have problems, right? That's what you're, and it's not that in this physical world, there's nothing but problems and things of that nature, right? It's just when you rise up in the morning or anything that you want to do in life, there's an issue. There's something that you have to figure out to be able to attain the thing that you want, right? So 3D is always going to be some type of problem, right? Um, Before I even write anything for 4D, let's go deeper into 3D, right? So what are the main problems that you're going to have in 3D? There's really only going to be three problems that you're going to have, and it's going to be health, wealth, and relationships. Health, wealth, and relationships, right? Anything else that you may think of is going to fall into those categories, right? If you just go, oh, well, it's daycare, you know what I'm saying? That's still falling into your wealth, right? And things of that nature. So those are the three main problems that you're going to have here in this physical vessel that you're in, trying to manifest the things that you desire. Before I move forward, does everybody understand that and what 3D is? And like TV was saying, is a physical place. Drop a Y in the chat if you understand. Drop an N in the chat if you don't. Y. All right. Got you. All right. Awesome. Awesome. So we're gonna move over here to 4D, right? So 4D, how do you spell solution? It's SOLUTR. So in 4D, you're gonna have solutions, right? The 3D, remember, is going to be physical, is where you wake up and things of that nature. Your 4D is where you create, right? This is going to be your imagination. I'm gonna just go in the chat. Okay, we were just getting wise, right? The 4D is gonna be your imagination, right? So you just rose up out your bed today. Whatever you normally do, if you have a ritual that you follow to get you into that routine, that's cool. If you don't, that's cool as well, right? Well, I wouldn't say that that's cool as well. I'm not gonna do you like that. You should get a routine when you rise up, right? And I'm gonna just throw this in here because I wasn't gonna speak on this, but morning routines are very important, and you don't need like to compact your morning full of routines. It's just like, okay, as soon as I rise up, I don't touch my phone. You know, I get into prayer or I get into meditation or I get into, man, I'm grateful that I'm able to breathe again. You know, it's a practice. It takes time to be able to do that. You know, you're going to rise up, go use the bathroom, like, dang, you know what I'm saying? But that's the awareness. When you're able to do that, that's you being aware. So you're not, now you have control over, okay, let me remind myself, what do I need to do to remind myself? Do I need to put a sticky note on my ceiling? You know, don't move, be grateful, be thankful. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. When you leave your bed, if you was already thinking something outlandish or having a bad day already in a couple of seconds, that's how your day continued to be. You know what I'm saying? Until you made it better, or vice versa. If it was you was positive when you woke up in the morning, then your day was pretty much positive. Bad things could happen, but you still looked at the positive side of it, right? So 4D is going to be your imagination. It's going to be a place where you create. What I like to call it, sometimes I choose my word carefully because I'm learning to like not care what other people think about me, but 4D to me is going to be my Christ consciousness, right? It's where I dwell with Christ. It's where I imagine and I do things with Christ, right? And, you know, I have fun. 4D, there's no time, space, matter, you know, you can't see it like physically with these eyes. You can see it because 4D is your visualization stage. That's where you visualize, right? 4D, I don't want to pass it too quickly because this is 4D is how you, I wouldn't say obtain laws of attraction, but how you use laws of attraction, right? Most people think that the way you use laws of attraction is by thinking positive thoughts, thinking of your outcome, or even imagining it and visualizing it, you know what I'm saying? And repeating affirmations or affirmations that they created for themselves, thinking that their lives are going to change. You know, what happens in that aspect is that your perception starts to change. You know, the way you feel starts to change. And if you're strong enough, if you're mentally strong enough, you'll start to feel like, oh dang, I see today, I don't feel like I felt yesterday. I felt so great because I'm not seeing my desires coming to me and things of that nature, but I know it's coming. That's when you know, like, okay, cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how you live in that space as well. Better words to saying it is in the 4D, when you're imagining the things that you want, right? Because you attracted in 4D. We'll get to that in a minute. What you're doing in 4D is visualizing yourself, right? Somebody said, make me a million. You're visualizing yourself as a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? Literally, what does that feel like to you? You know, and you may start having thoughts of spending money or doing this, or, you know, obtaining wealth, whatever it is, dwell in that feeling. If you can't find that feeling, ask your father. Literally, what does it feel like, Father, to be abundant? What does it feel? You'll start thinking of the thought like, dang, not to pay bills. There you go. What does it feel like not to pay bills? You know what I'm saying? You, even if you never, don't go into your mind and into the past where it's like, well, I ain't have to pay bills. Don't do that. Just what's that feeling? You know, it feels abundant, bro. You have no care in the world. You can go wherever you want. You can do whatever you desire. You know what I'm saying? That is part of meditation, right? We're going to get to there, but 4D and 5D is your meditation spot, right? But 4D is where you meditate and you imagine and you visualize. Literally, I've been doing this for over a decade, maybe like 15 years. And I thought I was even crazy like my first 3 years. I'm like, bro, like I see good things coming to me and I see it's working, but it's not working how it's like I would think so. You know what I'm saying? But I also wasn't researching at that time the law of karma, right? And anybody that knows about karma, they think karma as being bad. right? Karma is good too. You know what I'm saying? But it just depends on what is your works on this earth? Are your works good? You know, if you've been working towards things, that's what you get what you receive what you give, right? So long story short, 4D, right? I wrote some notes here. 4D is where you're going to imagine everything, right? Your 4D is your Christ consciousness, right? Everything that you see in this world, right? Not me, but no, even me. What you mean? I was a thought. This bottle, the water inside this bottle, the marketing, the plastic, the brand. Let that sink into your mind. This computer, you know what I'm saying? Zoom, the app that I'm using to be on the computer, the World Wide Web, right? All of this was in someone's imagination before it was created, right? Everything, this hoodie that I'm wearing, this hat that I'm wearing, you know what I'm saying? Even the way I'm wearing my beard, this is a style. You know what I'm saying? This was thought in this 4D dimension before it actually came into reality, into your 3D world, right? So you have to understand that. And you are very, very, very powerful. You know what I'm saying? It's just school was not going to teach us this, right? I'm not going to say school is not going to teach you this. They wasn't teaching me this either. You know what I'm saying? That's why I left school at a very young age. I left school at 14 years old, right? And started to literally manifest things into my life and did what I wanted to do. Long story short, so y'all don't think my mom crazy. I just didn't have a father figure in there, so she can't really do that with me, right? Let me go into the, all right. Let me scroll up. Yes, perception. Proceed. Oh, I didn't even read that word. Hold on, what you said? I'm trying to not get lost. Dang, I hit the share button. All right, let me stay focused on here because I thought you had a question. So, and if y'all have any questions, please feel free. You can stop me at any time, even if it's personal, even if you're in the process of it, right? So in the 4D, that's like I was saying, anything that you see in this earth, anything that you see in the 3D, that's matter, it was thought before it came to reality, right? So that's why you want to imagine the things that you want, right? It understand the word that I'm using. You want to imagine the things that you want. You want to imagine you being the person that you desire to be. You want to imagine that. You know what I'm saying? Even when you're listening to music, like I love music, I can decode it very, very well. What I tell people is when you're listening to music, and I'll ask a friend of mine, when you listen to music, what do you think? I'll just literally ask them, what do you think about? And I'll like whatever that rapper or artist was talking about, they're talking about that artist, or they're talking about like a punchline they said, and I literally be like, you know what I do? Every single word that comes out of that person's mouth, I am picturing and literally seeing myself in that reality. And when I do that, I literally see my past, I see my future, I see my present, I see the things that I'm doing now. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm very careful on the music that I digest. You know, everything that you're digesting, you will become. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, let's go over to 5D, right? Potential, right? That's going to be your 5D, potential, right? 4D, everything that you see was thought about, right? In the mind first, in your imagination, right? That person visualized. Now in 5D, right, is the potential. Everything that has ever been thought about was a potential in this realm. It was a potential thought. Not to say that it went, right? That's why you hear the word of train of thought, right? It was a train of thought. It was a possibility that somebody like was thinking about that in that realm. You know what I'm saying? Or not someone, the being, you, the spirit, right? So 5D is going to be your potential, right? Everything in here, let me see what I wrote down. Everything in here before it was a thought, it was a potential. I just literally told you that. It was a potential thought or it was a potential thing, right? 5D equals energy. That's energy right here, right? It's just like Albert Einstein said, M equals MC squared, right? Which means energy equals everything. You know what I'm saying? Which is 5D. Everything is energy, right? So it was a possibility before I even entered my space of matrix that I am dwelling to manifest the things that I desire. You know what I'm saying? Anything that you think about already has been created, right? That's why you go into deep meditation, right? To unlock things that it's like, hey, this hasn't been created, but I added it on. And then you come to the 3D and you find problems, which somebody needed some type of service. So you created that for them, right? Or you recreated it because it's been created before, but to that person's liking, right? So 5D is going to be like, basic way I can say it is God, right? Like look at it as in the beginning, right? 5D. God created, right? Because you're creating here, you're finding solutions. God created the heavens and earth. That makes sense? Before we go any further, drop a Y in the chat, drop an N in the chat if that doesn't make sense. So 5D, let me put some words up here. I'll say heaven, ooh, that's who it is. Heaven and where's the didn't even do all that. Close. Right, coming over here to the 4D, this is creation or created. Right, created. And then over here, we're gonna go, come on, put God over here, right? So in the beginning, there was 5D, right? In the beginning, God, right? God created, right? How, with his imagination, with his mind, right? His power, right? God created the heavens and earth, right? So now we're gonna come back down here. All right, I'm going here and wise. All right, cool. All right, so let's go back to 3D. We had it like 126 or something like that. A little smaller. Let's not go too big. 20. All right, we're gonna have actions here, right? I'm gonna just write. I'm gonna write it all out so I could just explain it. Over here, we're gonna have attract. Down here, we're gonna put implement, which was today's keyword of the day. And over here, we're gonna put receiving mode. Yep, right there. Boom, 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 boom. All right, so coming back into just this little diagram right here that we have created, right? Coming into your 4D, right? So basically, what got everybody into, wanting to learn about manifestation was the laws of attraction, right? So you got to be able to know how to use the laws of attraction, meaning faith without works is dead, right? So laws of attraction is also having faith, but without any works is dead. It's just like when I was saying, hey, if you're just, saying affirmations, you're going to feel good, but you're not going to create the reality that you want. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not putting any work towards it. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to kill yourself. Things will just fall into your lap, but you have to go out to the world, even if it's out walking around your neighborhood, even if it's just going somewhere. And that's why I tell people, take a different route home, right? Because that may be the key that you needed to be able to think the way that you thought about, right? Or to see something, or probably run into someone that God sent to be able to bless you. You know what I'm saying? So in the 4D, what you're going to do here, right, the 4D, you find your solutions, right? But you don't want to go straight to solutions, right? Because we know that there's problems here in the 3D. So when you wake up and you want to start creating, the first thing you want to do is what? You want to get into receiving mode. That's the first thing you want to do. That's why you want to stay grateful, right? That's why you hear people say, and this is why I'm doing this class, is because like the tools don't get put out there, right? But the subject it get put out there. But if you don't know how to utilize it, or your mind doesn't obtain it, or just grasp it, you'll get lost a little bit, or you'll just get excited trying to like, knowing the potential, but not knowing how to actually utilize it, right? So you want to get into receiving mode. That's being grateful. That's like, I I am grateful. I deserve, like that you deserve abundance. You deserve to be a multi-billionaire, millionaire, whatever you desire. You know what I'm saying? You deserve that. It doesn't, you have to like get out of the mind frame of thinking, well, I was told that, I had to get a job, I had to go to school, then I had to work, and I had to do that. Is a system. That's the system. You don't have to do that. You can if you would like, and you can work for the system. You know what I'm saying? And there's benefits and things of that nature towards it, right? But you can also do for thyself, which the system is doing that. And a lot of companies that's inside of the system are doing that. They're still doing for thyself while making sure that the consumers get what they need or what they want, not what they're needing, right? Does that make sense? So what we want to do here is get into receiving mode. So once you're in receiving mode, that's going to allow you to attract whatever you want. Because if you believe that you can attain it, right? And let me just break that down. When you want to attain something, it's not about thinking and putting steps together, like how like, oh, create a plan and stuff of that nature, right? Yes, you always want to create plans for things, right? But you just have to really have faith and believe it. Like, I never knew I was going to be this dope on charts. I just continue to meditate. I'll tell everybody, I drop down on my knees, I'll pray. I got home, I'll meditate, right? I prayed, I meditated on it, and then I put works to it. You know what I'm saying? I got on the charts, I did this, I looked for it. I asked questions. If I didn't feel like someone was going to ask my questions because they was an asshole, I asked myself the question. Like, then I went to Google, you know what I mean? I went to YouTube, you know what I'm saying? But I put in the work, you know what I'm saying? And things just attracted itself to me, right? I was able to attract what a morning star is, what a bull flag is, right? But that was throughout the reps, right? Of me implementing this over and over and over and over, right? So receiving mode, once you get into receiving, what first, heaven and earth, you rise up, you're going to have some problems. You don't want to think about those problems, because what you think about is what you become, right? And what a man thinketh is what he is, right? So you don't even have to jump straight to the solutions. We know where the solutions at. We know all the solutions dwell in the mind, right? In your imagination. That's all your solutions are going to dwell there. You know what I'm saying? You're going to imagine yourself out of any fucking problem that you may have in life, bro. Let the cops stop you. You're gonna imagine your way out of that shit. Man, look, you know what I'm saying? It's just you don't know that you're utilizing this, right? Let me see if there was a questions. I knew. You feel me, D-Wiz? What do you mean by that, D-Wiz? I knew. I don't know if you got the baby with you if you come mute.
I knew you was gonna be him.
Bro, thanks so much. Nah, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'm gonna touch on you and I as well, like a little after like I finish explaining this, because it falls straight into these topics that we're talking about, right? So I also like that he said I knew, right? You knowing something, right? Is like you knew that this was going to happen for you. One thing that I can say, I knew I was always going to be successful. I always knew that I will have a beautiful wife. You know what I'm saying? I always knew that my mom will continue to love me. I always knew that I was the black sheep, but I had a big heart and I will continue to love my family and I do for them. You know what I'm saying? I knew all of that stuff. But and through the pain and things that happened, the universe was testing me like, yo, let's see how strong you really are. Why? Because I'm the one thinking of this. I'm the one going through things, right? And like, dang, man, nah, I'm gonna teach somebody a different way. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? I see somebody doing somebody dirty. I'm like, look, let me show you the right way. And it's not for you to not like that person. You know what I'm saying? It's just for you to know. You know what I'm saying? I was a fool before. So when I see a lot of them and I just be like, dang, man. But a fool can only become wise if that fool wants to become wise, you know, if he wants to leave the ego realm. So let me go to the chat before I keep going back in. I not only knew I wanted that for you also. I appreciate you, my brother. I wish I knew you were the one like the song. What song, Melena? But yeah, so what you want to do, you rise up in the morning in your 3D, you're gonna have problems, right? You as soon as you think about the problem, just say, hey, I got solutions. Go into your meditation mode. Meditation, I'm gonna just put it out there for you to understand. You don't have to be in Indian style. It's literally just closing your eyes. Meditation is imagining, it's visualizing. You know what I'm saying? It's just different aspects of it of, you know, gaining mind power of like, oh, I can shut my thoughts off. You know, I'm quiet. You know what I'm saying? But that takes practice. I'm not gonna sit here and cap to you. Because I love to say things are easy, but it's for my mindset. You see what I'm teaching you? It's for me. I am tricking myself. This shit ain't fucking easy. But I'm gonna continue to say that shit. You know what I'm saying? So long story short, receiving, you want to come into your receiving mode, you're gonna attract all your solutions here. You see how that works? You're gonna get into your abundance stage of that I deserve this. I know that I do. I don't care what this reality is showing me. I don't care what I physically feel right now because I'm changing that. And I know that I deserve this. If you don't feel like you deserve it, just go freaking watch some homeless videos of people giving some food away. Just go watch beautiful things online. You're going to feel that abundance go back into your meditation. It's just a feeling that you have to grasp and obtain. You know what I'm saying? And once you do that, you're gonna start to attract. What are you gonna I should have said you're gonna take action. Heaven and earth, you wake up, you don't have problems, you're gonna take action, right? That action is to go into receiving. Ooh, how'd that happen? I don't know how I did that, y'all. And this ain't the charts where I can just go beep. Or can I just go back? Can I undo? Nah, I can't. So this is what I'll do.
CTRZ. Control Z.
Oh, damn, I'm doing a lot of things. C, hold on. Control Z.
Control. Uh-huh.
Control Z. Hey. Oh, I learn new things every day. Stop playing with me. My man, appreciate you, Zaytoven. All right. So, right, you're gonna take action, right? You're gonna take action, you're gonna go into your receiving mode, you're gonna attract what you want, right? By attracting what you want is you literally thinking of that. But not only thinking of that, what does it feel like to have that? What does it feel like to have these winning trades? What does it feel like to just wake up and look at the charts and be like, that's gonna go up, that's gonna go down? What does that feel like? And as soon as you think of Moody or you think of anybody else, you take that out of your mind and you put a picture of yourself there. Like, oh, I feel like that's me. Yeah, that's what it feels like. You know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. And that's why I'm always telling people, like, I love flowers, but I try to help you. Like, when you give me the flowers, like, don't give me your success. Because like I see it, and I'm like, damn, man, I pray that they see that so they can keep that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people like think of your manager. Your managers rob you from your success all the time. It's you, supervisor or the person under doing da 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 da. Then they take it to like, yeah, you know what I mean? I talked to Kelvin, da 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 da. He got to it. Yeah, boom, boom. Man, good job, man. You know, you're gonna get you a bonus. What about you though? You see what I'm saying? That's that right there. But that's the system. The system works that way. It's not meant to show you that unless you climb the ladder. Once you climb the ladder, you start learning about stuff like this automatically. But not like this, but in a different aspect. Anybody that's a manager, Anybody that's, you know, I don't know about supervisors. Yeah, they still get certain things. So like managers, really though, they kind of overstand this stuff. So long story short, once you start attracting things, right? What 4D is going to give you is solutions. It's going to give you solutions for your 3D. It's going to give you solutions for your problems, right? That's why you want to start here, right? That's why God created first heavens and earth. You got to follow the laws. That's why I follow the laws of the universe. I don't follow law of Moody, stick to this. You know what I'm saying? So long story short, I like to teach people about the universal laws, right? Because once you learn them, you'll start to see, like, even if you go watch the Secret, the laws of attraction, The Secret, which that book and movie came from the master key system. That's where it came from. If you go watch that, you'll start to tell yourself, like, man, I think like that. You know, I thought about stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because you're literally doing it. You know what I'm saying? They taught you how to do this too through cartoons and other stuff. You know what I'm saying? You just didn't know that you was being taught that, right? That's why it's very important on what you're teaching your child or letting them see from the age of, I wouldn't say 1, but like 3 to 7. You know what I'm saying? Very, like, they can learn a lot of languages at that age if you just show them they want to. Like, you don't see your children at that age, they want to learn, they want to learn, they want to learn. But you're working. It's not your fault. You know what I'm saying? You're in the system, you're working, you got to cook, you got to do this, you got a husband, you know what I'm saying? Or vice versa. It could be the man. You got all these things that you have to do and you know, take care of your family that it just feels like you don't have time for it. But you do. So long story short, it's going to give you solutions for your actions. What are you going to do? It's going to give you solutions for your problems, right? From there, and the reason let me start it over. The reason I'm starting here is because you will get confused when you rise up out of your bed. You will, like, you're not going to automatically think of receiving mode or solutions. You're going to see a problem. So automatically, if you see a problem, yo, let me take action to go to my 4D dimension, right? Let me go ahead and quiet everything down, right? Let me get into receiving mode so I can be able to attract the things that I desire today, right? And then, and even for the future. And on top of that, that's going to give me my solutions. Once it gives me my solutions, right, it's going to give me the solutions to my problems. Once it gives me the solutions to my problems, I am going to take action and implement that. You get it? Implementation leads to repetition. As long as you continue to implement it, your brain is going to think about it, like, yo, let's do that again. Or it's going to think of, if you made yourself feel like it was hard or something, your brain will, well, procrastination. Oh, let's leave it for another time, right? So what I want to basically tell you is that you are a god. Right? You are a god, right? So you have all the potential to create whatever you desire. It's not what the government is, what this world has programmed you to think. You know what I'm saying? Once you can start literally to bending things to your will, which you can, you know what I'm saying? It just takes time, you know, and it all stems from your belief system. You know, if you believe certain things, it's not that I'm not saying people's belief system is wrong. It's just you have go ask yourself why you believe that. Why do I believe this? You know what I'm saying? Where did I get this from? Where did this person get it from? Go ask that person some questions. Since you think that person is so, because they gave you the information or helped you, you know what I'm saying? Go ask that person. See how, you know what I'm saying? Start identifying with who you are. You know who you are. Stop fighting what you feel in the inside, because sometimes we do that. We know what we should do, but then we go look for confirmation. We go talk to other people to bounce our ideas around, right? And that's great, but you have to be careful on who you bouncing your ideas around. Very, very careful. You know what I'm saying? Because I just taught you something, right? So imagine if a lot of people know this. So imagine you go into a space that a lot of people know this, and you just go start sharing stuff and just I be doing that stuff because I know people don't know this stuff. I know, like, I used to think like, nah, everybody like, what? How? No, you have to know this stuff. No, people don't know this stuff, right? So, I'm gonna hit the do stop recording.